The notion that scientists and mainstream media are lying to us about climate change has become a prevalent conspiracy theory in recent years. However, it is essential to examine the underlying motivations and evidence behind this claim. Climate change is a complex and multifaceted issue that has been extensively studied by scientists across various disciplines. The overwhelming consensus among climate experts is that human activities, particularly the emission of greenhouse gases, are significantly contributing to the warming of the planet. Despite this consensus, some individuals and groups have raised concerns that scientists and the media are exaggerating or distorting the facts about climate change. Some argue that the economic and political implications of climate change mitigation policies are so severe that they have led to a deliberate effort to manipulate public opinion. Others claim that the scientific community is driven by a desire for funding and recognition, which has resulted in a biased presentation of the evidence. However, a closer examination of the evidence and the scientific process reveals that these claims are unfounded. Climate scientists rely on empirical data and rigorous testing to develop and refine their theories. The peer review process, which is a cornerstone of scientific research, ensures that studies are scrutinized by independent experts before publication. This process helps to filter out flawed or biased research, providing a high level of confidence in the results. Moreover, the scientific consensus on climate change is not based on a single study or dataset, but rather on a comprehensive evaluation of multiple lines of evidence. This includes temperature records, melting of glaciers and ice sheets, shifts in the distribution of plants and animals, and changes in the chemistry of the atmosphere and oceans. The evidence is clear: human activities are releasing large amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, which are accumulating in the atmosphere and leading to a rise in global temperatures. Mainstream media coverage of climate change has also been criticized for being biased or sensationalized. However, a review of media outlets' coverage of climate change reveals that they generally rely on credible sources, such as the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration (NOAA). While some media outlets may emphasize the more dramatic aspects of climate change, this is often a reflection of the severity of the issue rather than a deliberate attempt to deceive the public. It is also worth noting that the idea of a monolithic mainstream media is a misconception. The media landscape is diverse, with numerous outlets representing a range of perspectives and ideological orientations. While some outlets may downplay or deny the reality of climate change, others provide in-depth and accurate coverage of the issue. In reality, the motivations behind the supposed lies about climate change are more complex and nuanced. Some individuals and groups may be driven by ideological or economic interests, which lead them to dispute the scientific consensus. Others may be influenced by cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias or the availability heuristic, which can distort their perception of the evidence. Ultimately, the claim that scientists and mainstream media are lying to us about climate change is unfounded and misleading. The scientific consensus on climate change is based on a rigorous evaluation of the evidence, and the media's coverage of the issue is generally grounded in credible sources. Rather than relying on conspiracy theories, it is essential to engage with the evidence and the scientific process to develop a nuanced understanding of this critical issue. By doing so, we can work towards a more informed and constructive public discourse about climate change and its implications for our planet.